Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Thursday, February 18th, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Well, for the second Thursday in a row, it looks like a snow day. More on that later from George, so let's get right into it. Last night, Governor Hogan announced that the latest variant of the COVID-19 virus is now in Maryland. This is the Brazil variant that was discovered in a deceased male from the National Capital Region who recently had traveled overseas. This variant, like the UK and the South African ones that have already shown up here in Maryland, is more transmissible than the original, but it is yet to be determined if it is more severe, and the CDC hasn't really determined if the vaccines currently available will work to their full potential on these variants or not. So stay tuned for that. And due to the weather today, the Anne Arundel County Health Department has canceled all vaccine and testing clinics scheduled for today. People with appointments either at Anne Arundel Community College or Maryland Live will be notified with rescheduling information. They do expect to be up and running on Friday, but you want to make sure you just stay tuned to Eye on Annapolis because that could change as the weather changes throughout the day. And if you notice some different flags flying in downtown Annapolis from the light poles, they are representing the African diaspora as part of the celebration of Black History Month. In all, there are 75 flags representing nations and regions in Africa, South America, the Caribbean, and the U.S. The project was conceived by the city's African American Community Services Specialist, Adetola Ajayi, and you want to mark your calendars because the city is planning to host a Black History Month celebration on February 27th. And as we wrap up today, some bummer news. The Annapolis Maritime Museum and Park has canceled for the second year in a row their annual Oyster Roast and sock burning, which was to be on March 20th. Even with the restrictions in place, the event, which usually draws 500 plus people, would be limited to about 100 people. And the whole restriction thing is still subject to change. So cross that one off the calendar for this year and look forward to the one in 2022. But they have not canceled tonight's winter lecture series. Up tonight at 7 p.m. is our very own local world-class sailor, Gary Jobson. Tickets are only $10, and you can get them at maritime.org. But my suggestion is to become a member at the first mate level or higher, which is only $100, and the lectures are free, among other perks. Again, you want to go to maritime.org. Okay, that wraps up the news for us today. As always, thank you for listening. And if you are somewhere where you can leave us a rating or a review, please do. And make sure you let your friends, family, and colleagues know about us too. It really does help. A quick thank you to the sponsors for today's daily news brief: Solar Energy Services up in Millersville, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company, and Brian Griffiths from the Duckpin. It is Thursday, so of course we have Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace here with your Maker Minutes, and as we have every day, George Young from DCMDVA Weather is here with your locally forecast snowy, icy, wet weather report. All of that coming up in just 60 seconds.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Are you kicking yourself for not installing solar in 2020, missing out on that sweet 26% federal income tax credit? Not to worry, because legislation passed at the very end of 2020 extended the 26% tax credit, which means consumers like you can act now to get that credit and have your new solar system up and running before springtime when solar generation moves into peak season. Plus, in addition to the feds, several state and county incentives help to make the solar investment an even bigger no-brainer. Don't have the cash? We've got you covered with competitive financing that is more than offset by the energy savings. Bottom line, Uncle Sam wants you to install solar, and so does the state of Maryland. And you're going to love the savings, so what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasting. Contact us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather with your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Thursday, February 18th. Winter storm warning in effect for the Annapolis region today. Expect 3 to 5 inches of snow with some light icing on top as the snow transitions into mixed precip late morning or early afternoon hours, ultimately ending as freezing rain. And that freezing rain could add up to 1/10 to maybe 1/4 of an inch of ice on top of the snow. So be careful if out and about. Skies will start to clear tomorrow, and then it should be a sunny weekend, but temps will still be in the 30s across the Annapolis region both days, but there will be some melting as the sun comes out both Saturday and Sunday. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Store. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and use our website each day at DCMDVAweather.com. So you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
Did you know that home values jumped over 10% on average in 2020? And we are expected to see more increases over the next 3 to 6 months. What's causing this rise in value? First, limited inventory. We have about 60% fewer homes on the market right now than we did the same time last year. Second, low interest rates. People can afford more home right now, and that is very appealing. Third, increased buyer demand. We literally have over 20 interested and qualified buyers waiting for the right home to come on the market, and we are not alone. If you were ever thinking of timing the market just right to get the highest price in recent history, your time has come. My team is available and ready. Give us a call today. We'll check your home's value and break neighborhood records.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
Every week, makers, crafters, and educators hold events all over the area. Highlighting some of those, here's our Maker Minutes, brought to you by Annapolis Makerspace.
Hey, this is Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes. This week at Kittens and Cups, Annapolis' own cat cafe, check out their abstract paint night at the Creative and Performing Arts in South County, near the All-American Steakhouse in Edgewater. Tomorrow, they're having one of their Friday paint nights. Classes are limited to 8 people, and they do have a kids session for ages 6 through 10, followed by an 11 and up session. At the Willow Oak Flower and Herb Farm in Severn, on Saturday, they're doing a Mommy and Me fairy garden class. Prices include 2 fairy gardens, including fairies, accents, tiny furniture, and 3 or 4 plants in a beautiful and bright container. At Art Farm in Annapolis this week, this afternoon is the second and final session of the virtual beginner weaving workshop for ages 12 through 16, with an adult session of the same in the evening. And going on right now, but just starting last Monday, and running through the end of March, check out the 6-week class in using Procreate to create digital murals for ages 12 through 18. Also be sure to check out the Art Farm online market. Art Farm Studios brings you a curated collection, with each sale directly supporting working local artists and small businesses. Check out artfarmmarket.com. Maryland Hall always has a bunch of things going on. Right now you can sign up for classes including ceramics, children's arts and crafts, drawing, painting, and more, as well as assorted virtual dance classes including ballet and tap dancing for various age groups. At the Anne Arundel County Public Library System, in addition to their various book clubs, today check out Prepare and Share Virtual Cookbook and Recipe Club with afternoon tea, as well as Make a Light Up Card, making paper circuits with the Deal Library. Tomorrow, there's STEM Talk, a discussion for teens about the novel and film adaptation of Margot Lee Shetterly's Hidden Figures, the story of female African-American mathematicians at NASA who calculated flight trajectories for Project Mercury. Afterward, build a rocket together with materials provided, which can be picked up at the Severn Library. On Saturday, there's a kids' virtual cooking class making baked mac and cheese. Also, a 10-minute design challenge. Given a theme, you have a limited time to build something with things found around your home while listening to a story. And finally, on Saturday, there's seed starting with a master gardener. On Tuesday, there's Get Your Craft On. And then on Wednesday, there's Tower STEM program, seeing how tall you can build a tower. As well as on Wednesday, there's an air fryer virtual cooking program. At Unallocated Space in Severn, tonight they have one of their weekly virtual happy hours. Tomorrow is a virtual amateur radio night. And then on Monday is a project night. And at Annapolis Makerspace this week, on Tuesday is our monthly general meeting, where we talk some shop biz and then see what everyone's been working on. Feel free to drop in if you have any questions. And you can find links to all of these events at the Annapolis Makerspace website at makeannapolis.org. And as always, you can drop me a line at trevor@makeannapolis.org if you have any questions about Annapolis Makerspace, the Maker Minutes, or any of these events. And whether you're making art, software sawdust, or just a mess, chances are you're already a maker. This has been Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes.
Hi there, this is Brian Griffiths inviting you to listen to my podcast, the Duckpin Podcast. Some weeks on the Duckpin Podcast, I talk with those making a difference in the world, whether it be in politics, finance, journalism, business, or sports. I'm getting inside the worlds of those people making things happen. Some weeks I'll give you my take on the world, with the political analysis you've always expected. Either way, each week you'll learn something on the Duckpin Podcast. Subscribe today on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And you can learn more at our home base, theduckpin.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.